is another gloomy, snowy, cold March day, which in my opinion, those are the worst kind of days because in March, I just want spring. I think everybody does. So trying not to let the weather affect my mood, but it's really, really hard. I kind of want to go through our house as I am cleaning it up because we are in the process of finishing that room in the basement. In fact, I think I can say that it's finished. We spent the whole weekend, painting, doing baseboards, trim, all of that stuff. And then I finished painting the baseboards and stuff yesterday. So it was a long weekend, lots of work, but I think we did it. I think it's finished. I need to go down there and take the tape off and clean up everything, vacuum and everything like that. So that is another project that needs to be done. But since we were just focused on that room in the basement all weekend, the rest of the house is a bit of a chaotic mess. So that's my goal for today, is to get the whole house cleaned up. While I do that, I also want to kind of talk you through some things in our house that we have changed and things that we want to change, things that we love, things that we don't love. We have an older home. It was built in 1940. And before we bought the house, people came in and flipped it. So it was a very just basic blank slate when we moved in. But in some ways that was nice. In other ways, not so nice, because it really does feel like whoever came in and flipped it just did, obviously the cheapest possible things. So there's a lot of things that are frustrating just about the work that they did originally before we ever bought the house. So some things of that we have to kind of, undo, redo. But there are other things about this older home that I just absolutely love. So I'll kind of talk you through that as I'm cleaning up today. You're gonna craft. Okay, let me get you some things that you can craft with, okay?
I'm gonna try out.
Yep, that's kind of what happens. One of the things that I really love about our house is it has a lot of little built-in things like this. So we just have this archway that kind of separates the living room and the kitchen area. And there's just two cabinets on either side of the archway that are just built right in. And I think it's such a good use of the space and really cute, adds some character. I also love that it kind of has this glass front. I think that there's potential for it to be styled really cute with some books and baskets and cute things. We have had kids' crafts and coloring books and things in this cabinet, and it's been really convenient because our table's just right there, so you can grab the coloring stuff and take it over there. But honestly, it's not really big enough to fit all the craft things, so we kind of have craft stuff scattered throughout the whole house. And I just realized that I have this little container that we've been putting some coloring stuff in. So I'm thinking if I can just fit all of the coloring stuff into this container, then we can just keep this container in another closet that has more craft stuff. And maybe that'll work a little bit better. And then I'm gonna put some books and I don't know, other things in here, which is kind of what I've wanted to do for a while. I think this will utilize this space a lot better. So I just put books. This is some cards that I like to have on hand, some photo albums. I have another photo album that we need to get put in there too. So there we go. One space is organized. Working hard on that. You want to do apples too?
You did a little bit of the trees.
When we first saw this house, I was obsessed with the kitchen because most of the houses that we were looking at were older homes with unremodeled kitchens. When I saw a kitchen with white cupboards, I was very, very excited. And now, having had white cupboards for 5 years, I'm not obsessed. They are very hard to keep clean. These cabinets in particular are pretty cheaply made. They're kind of falling apart after 5 years. Thankfully, we do have a big pantry because I should in one of my first vlogs, Brayden like opened up the pantry, so it's a pretty big walk-in pantry. So I'm very thankful that we have that. If we didn't have that, I don't know what I would do. The kitchen is not my favorite, but it works. Now for something that I don't really like about our house. Everything was painted the exact same color. I don't know if you can tell, but the walls, the ceilings, all the trim, the doors, everything is like this gray color, and it's a light gray. So like when we first were looking at the house, I thought it was all white, but upon further investigation, it is like gray. And they also did not use a good high quality paint. I don't think they primed, because paint is chipping like this on all of the doors and a lot of the trim, and it's just not the best. They even painted the fireplace all that same color too, and the mantle was also painted that color, but my husband and I just started sanding off the mantle. I think we're gonna, you know, finish this project, stain it and finish it and stuff, and that will look really nice. But before, that was white too, so everything was just kind of this gray whitish color. It's time to go get Emery from school, and then we're heading to the Children's Museum. So I'm just packing up our bag, but I'll tell you one more thing that I kind of like about our house, kind of don't like. We have hardwood floors through like all of the main living area, the living room, kitchen, playroom, hallway, bathroom. And I really do like having hardwood floors. It's really nice, especially with kids, like their spills and stuff. I just have like a wet, dry vac thing that I can just clean up their messes really, really easily. The thing that I don't love is the color of the floors. They are very gray, very cool toned, pretty dark. If I was to redo the floors, I would want to go like a little warmer and definitely lighter. And I also don't like, they obviously went with just like the cheapest material that they could find, which just hasn't held up very well. It always looks dirty, and in the bathroom it's not ideal because it's not like waterproof, water resistant at all. And with 2 young kids in the bath and everything, there just gets to be water everywhere, and the floors are like rotting out, we're pretty sure, which is just not ideal at all. So I like the hardwood floors, but I would change like the quality and the color and things like that about them. But it is really nice to have hardwood floors with kids. We are back home now. We had a fun afternoon at the Children's Museum. My girls really had a lot of fun, just kind of ran from one thing to the next, and we haven't been there in a really long time, so it's fun to go now that they're a little bit older. They're interested in different things, and it was also fun to talk to my friend that I haven't seen in a long time, and anyway, see her kids and stuff. So good afternoon. Now we're back home, and I'm probably gonna go down to the basement and kind of try and clean up that room, take the tape off and stuff. So I'll be going down there soon. But one more thing I thought of about our house. Last year, we changed we updated all of the electrical and the lighting in our house. So that was a huge project, but it was so nice to have done. Now we have like these wafer lights in our ceiling, which are really, really nice. And then when we first moved in, there was no outlet in our bathroom. So we got an outlet in our bathroom. That's like the main thing I wanted. So anyway, that little update, well, it was actually a really big project last year. Brayden took it on and he did it, and we also had an electrician help, and our electrician actually ended up falling through the ceiling. If you can see that like patch in our ceiling, we had to patch it because he fell all the way through our ceiling. So that is one of the like bigger updates that we've done to our house. This is a rare moment where the house is clean, and it's actually like midday, so it's really pretty in here. We have 2 big windows in the front of our house, and I love having the windows and just the light that it lets in, especially in the afternoon and evening. I also wanted to show, I love our arches. We have this big arch in between our living room and our like dining room area, and I just think it's so pretty, adds a lot of character. We have another archway right there, and we have a little playroom right now right there, which I might be making this into a craft room. Once we move the girls downstairs, we'll probably put a lot of their toys in their room downstairs, and then I want to make this into more of a craft room. I also really love how close everything in our house is, and it's an open concept. So we have the living room, it's open all the way up in here to the dining room and the kitchen, kind of an L shape. And then our playroom is just right back there. So when toys get scattered all throughout the house, bringing them all throughout to the playroom just isn't that big of a deal. Everything's really close, really open. And then our bedrooms are just right down this hallway in the bathroom. And it's just close and cozy. I feel like cleaning up doesn't take that long. Because we have a small space, I try to be really intentional about the things that we bring into the house. We don't have like a ton of toys or, you know, just random crazy things. So I actually really like having a small house. Would I like to have a newer home, or, you know, just be able to have like a little bit nicer like finishes and stuff? Yes, but I don't think I would ever want to be in a home that's much bigger than this, especially once we finish our basement. I feel like the size is really great. It's easy to manage. It feels really cozy. It makes us all just kind of be close. And I think it's partially because my family, we all grew up in a very small home. Until I was 14, we had 8 people, 6 kids living in one home with one bathroom. And so it just feels like normal to me and cozy. And I want to, you know, raise my kids in a living room house or whatever. I've seen it on TikTok where they talk about like you're either like a bedroom family or a living room family. And I want to be a living room family. I want us to all just gather in like these main spaces of the home and just kind of always be within arm's reach of each other. And so I really love having this small, cozy home. You can see that there is a lot of like things that have been patched, and that's just from the electrical work that was done because they redid a bunch of the outlets. I think every single outlet, and a lot of the switch panels and things like that. And we have like lath and plaster walls, so cutting into them is very hard. Don't mind the girls' room is a disaster, but like when they would cut into them, sometimes it would just kind of break all around. So Braden's in the process of trying to patch things. But we did get a fun, cute light fixture here in the bathroom. And yeah, we added my outlet. Before, we did not have an outlet in here. So that was nice to get an outlet. And you can also see the paint chipping. Another exhibit of the really cheap paint job that the flippers did before we bought this house. But it's okay. I'm thinking that maybe I will just sand down the doors when we refinish them and just do like a natural wood door, if it all looks good underneath the paint. This room is complete. It is finished. We still need to move all the furniture in here, obviously, but I'm just gonna run the vacuum, and I'm feeling so good about how it all looks. It's just a nice blank slate for us to hopefully create a room that the girls really love and a place for them to feel safe and just to have a good childhood together. I was telling them the other night, like, you guys are gonna grow up in this room. Like, this is gonna be your bedroom, probably for the majority of your childhood. I mean, obviously, who knows? But I just want them to be able to make good, fun, sisterly memories in this room. So I'm really grateful that our house has this basement. It just gives us a lot of potential of things that we can do, and obviously just makes the house more functional for our family as we continue to grow. And anyway, I am just so happy to finally have this room done, and I'm so thankful for Braden for putting in the hard work, and that he doesn't necessarily know how to do all these things when he starts, but he just starts and he does it and he figures it out along the way, and it always turns out way better than I can even ever imagine. So I'm just feeling really thankful for him and really grateful for our home that we get to raise our family in. We are just going to spend a little bit of time outside before we have dinner and baths and bed. Ivy, do you want a coat? No. Okay, Emery's coming out in just a minute, okay?